Hi, Fruity Cutie. What's up? My name is Jeannette, also known as Misfit Vegan. Now, let's get right into the video today. I'm going to share my screen and we are going to talk about B12 because I'm not done. So be quiet, okay? Because we're not done sharing the truth that I believe you need to know. So I am researching what all the plant-based doctors, what they say about B12 and what specific B12 they recommend. So we're going to start today with, I'm not going to name any names, but you'll see their names on the screen. All right. So we went to this plant-based doctor's website. So you see his name on the screen and reading all of the things that he recommends, the blood test and how often to test every 90 days, which is absolutely incredible. All right. So now we come down here and we're looking at the brands. Okay. So this is a brand that a lot of plant-based doctors recommend. The Jarrow formula. I also found this brand on another, he's not a doctor, but he is a, I don't really know what to call him, but you can see his website up top. And he recommends this Jarrow formula. So let's look at this Jarrow formula, okay? This is a healthy methylcobalamin B12, okay? As you can see on the screen, we're gonna look at these ingredients. So we have methylcobalamin, which is its own scientific chemical formulation. Lots of ingredients go into that. But also we have microcrystalline cellulose, stearic acid, natural flavors, citric acid, magnesium stearate, and silicone dioxide. I don't know about you, but I believe it's extremely irresponsible to recommend natural flavors, citric acid, silicone dioxide, and let's not even talk about the ingredients in the methylcobalamin. Let's not. So, okay, that's one of the brands that is highly recommended. Let's look at another brand. Another brand is Live Wise, and this is actually the brand that I took 2 or 3 or 4 times back in the day because I was recommended this by someone who shall not be named, a raw vegan. He takes this. All right. So let's look at this Live Wise vegan B12. Okay, let's look at the ingredients. All right. This was the healthiest one that I found back in the day. Methylcobalamin and adenosylocobalamin. We have glycerin made from flaxseed, purified water, and citric acid. Okay. Again, irresponsible, in my opinion, to recommend these products. Now, what exactly is in methylcobalamin? Because it's not telling you. It's not telling you. Went to the website. Here's the ingredients again. Methylcobalamin, adenosylcobalamin, citric acid, glycerin. Okay. So then we're diving deep into, because I'm also a researcher. I know I said the other day I wasn't, but I am. This is what I do for fun. And we're diving deep into what exactly the fruit is in this shit. Because when I give you an apple, you know what's in that apple. If it's not organic, yeah, there's probably pesticides on it. Even if it is organic, there's pesticides on it. So you could peel it and then you know what's in that apple. It's an apple. Okay? When you're taking a chemical science lab created liquid or pill, you don't know what's in that. You have no idea what's in that. So now let's find out what's in this product, this Live Wise B12 that these plant-based doctors and raw vegans are recommending. Okay? And I stand by my First Amendment right to freedom of speech. And I stand by the fact that I do not believe it is responsible to recommend a B12 supplement. I think it's extremely irresponsible, especially with these ingredients. So I'm researching what exactly, it's really hard to find out. It's really hard. You're not going to find this easily. So methylcobalamin is this chemical formula, C63H91 con CON13 O14P. Okay, that sounds healthy. All right. Now the exact ingredients, because we got to dive deep. We're trying to get deeper into what the hell is in this product that we need so bad. So here we go, because I said exactly, I want to know what's in the methylcobalamin. That's what I want to know. I know citric acid is made from GMO corn or GMO cassava. Okay. It's black mold from GMO corn or GMO cassava. So it's the mold on the corn or the cassava. Okay. I know that natural flavors in that other product that the raw vegan recommends and the other doctor recommends and all these other plant-based doctor recommends, this brand. I know that natural flavors is an umbrella term for over 100 types of chemicals and doesn't even need to be vegan. Natural flavors, I will never eat anything with natural flavors because I'm a vegan and I don't support animal cruelty, and there could be animal products in natural flavors. How is it responsible for these plant-based doctors to recommend this? And you're paying for it with your money and your life and your quality of life and your health. But let's move on. Let's go back to the ingredients because I finally got down to it. What is the ingredients in methylcobalamin? Okay. So let's read it. B12 are produced biologically by certain bacteria via long, complex biosynthetic pathways. In industry, large-scale fermentation using bacteria strains such as N-cipher adherens or Propionibacterium frid, we can't even say these words, is used to produce cobalamins. Okay. After fermentation, the vitamin is recovered via separation. Okay. The naturally produced cobalamin precursor may not immediately be in the methyl or adenosyl form. For example, methylcobalamin, one common route is to take a cobalamin precursor and chemically methylate it. Okay, for this other one, it's just unbelievable. We skip that. We continue. All right. They reduce the cyanocobalamin or the hydroxocobalamin using a reducing agent such as sodium borohydride. Already right there, I know it's not for me. There's nothing about this that sounds like a health product. Let's continue. Methylate the reduced cobalt complex using a methylating agent. For example, one patent lists trimethylsol, I dare you to try to say this shit, sulfoxanum iodide, or similar trimethylsulfonylureas. Okay, next, use a cyanide ion. So yes, there's cyanide in methylcobalamin. And yes, they're going to argue that it's only a tiny, teeny, tiny amount. But you know what's funny about these fucking plant-based doctors and these fucking raw vegans? It's only a tiny amount. You know what's hilarious about them? Let me show you something. I'm not done because it gets worse. But I need to share my other screen because you know what's hilarious about these motherfuckers? It's only a tiny amount. Here we go. Here's a article from the same person that recommends this B12. Some vegans and vegetarians use things like garlic and onions when making recipes or consume them when eating prepared foods. And some raw foodists continue to use these in recipes because they are, after all, raw. But looking at things like garlic in isolation, considering just its benefits without considering the detrimental aspects, is an unbalanced way of looking at something. These substances impair or damage our intestinal flora. And although once their consumption is stopped, the body can eventually repair and rebalance itself, B12 production can be affected for a long enough period of time to allow a low B12 level to exist long enough to be harmful. And it's been known for quite some time that it's a good idea to take an antibiotic when you don't need to. It's not a good idea to take an antibiotic when you don't need to. And things like garlic have antibiotic properties. So on balance, the benefits from these irritating substances are far outweighed by their detrimental aspects. My philosophy is to get the benefits from things that don't contain their downsides. And that's easy to do once you start thinking even further outside the box. So this person is trying to convince me that I shouldn't eat garlic, but I should take a synthetic, chemically designed liquid from a science lab. Of course, it's going to lower your B12. It's getting the B12 synthetic formula out of your body. A low B12 level means you have low synthetic B12 in your body. The same people that make the pharmaceutical drugs design the blood tests. They're looking for synthetic B12. You do not make your own B12. B12 does not exist in nature. It exists only in a science lab. This person is trying to convince me that I should take a synthetic supplement, but should stay away from garlic because its dangers outweigh its benefits. But what about the same philosophy? What the fuck? But he's having a completely different philosophy when it comes to, this is unbelievable, the fucking supplements. They are so dangerous, but no, their benefits outweigh their dangers. But with the garlic, the dangers outweigh the benefits. So from nature, we're doing the opposite. And with the science created products, the laboratory created products, we're doing you see the danger benefit. Whew, you got to think for yourself because they're not going to help you when you get sick. You got to think for yourself. Let's share the screen again. These doctors not going to be there for you when you get sick. Let me tell you right now. Watched my whole family suffer and pass away because of the medical industry. And I'll be damned if I'm going to get sick, and I will not be in the hospital like they were, and I will not be taking a supplement ever again for the rest of my life, and I will not be taking a blood test either, because that is a waste of money, time, and resources meaning my blood. I'm not doing it ever again. And if you want to pray for me. I don't need it, boo. I don't need it. 40 years old, in the best shape of my life. Been raw for 15 years. I've taken a B12 supplement 3 or 4 times. Got a headache every time. I said, fuck that. That is not for me. Listen, check out my documentary. I'll leave it below. But let's continue with the ingredients because I actually have to go. I'm interviewing Eli in about 10 minutes, talking about salt. So here we go. Use a cyanide ion scavenger, whatever the fuck that means. Ferrous sulfate, cobalt, chloride. I wouldn't put this stuff in my skin, let alone in my mouth, to capture released CN ions when starting from cyanocobalamin. After reaction, purification steps, filtering, chromatography, crystallization to isolate high purity. Okay, let's continue. All right. Then, okay, this is for the adenosylcobalamin. Start with fermentation liquid, filter to remove, okay, the things. Break the cell wall of the microbial biomass, extract, pass through, okay, through ion exchange resins. That doesn't sound healthy at all. Okay. Concentrate the solution, remove organic solvents such as acetone. So there was acetone in it. Okay, we're removing that, thank God. Then crystallize the substance by adding solvents like acetone. Woo! Now see, they gonna tell it to you right in your face, but you still gonna buy it because the plant-based doctors don't give a shit. They making money. They're making money off your naivete, your gullibility, your gullibleness. They're making money. The medical industry is a business, and a patient cured is a patient lost. And I tell you this right now, we're not done with the ingredients, but I'm telling you this right now. If I went to the doctor today, they will find something wrong with me. There is nothing wrong with me, but I know from my experience in the medical industry, watching my sister die of a brain tumor, watching my mom die of a heart attack, my grandpa die of prostate cancer, and my grandma pass away from a whole host of issues. Okay. I know from the medical industry, working with fruity cuties all around the world that have been in the medical industry as well, that it is a business and it relies on making people believe that they need synthetic supplements, prescription drugs, surgeries, radiation, chemotherapy, and so many other things, treatments that make you sicker and sicker and sicker down the road. They want you alive just barely so you can keep them in business. Okay? And that I know. And if you know that too, put a watermelon emoji below. But this video is for people that are truth seekers, that care about the truth and don't want to just regurgitate, propaganda published by the medical industry. So here we go. Here are some of the other ingredients. Okay. Microbial culture medium, nutrient salts, cobalt, ion source, cobalt chloride, carbon energy source, growth medium for bacteria. Okay, whatever the fuck that is. Okay. They use sodium borohydride, like we said. So we're not going to be able to say these words. Okay, cyanide. Of course, we knew that. Resins. Okay. All you need to know is a B12 supplement was originally made in the 1940s with 3 ingredients: cow's liver, cobalt metal, and cyanide. A whole host of other things too, but those are the 3 main ingredients. And they've been using that formula ever since. Do you see that this cannot be a health product? There's no way on the face of the planet. And you know what's hilarious? This is one of the funniest things on the planet. You got to get this one. There's a million symptoms of B12 deficiency, right? All right, this is the last thing I'll say for now, but I'll be back. I'm not done with talking about B12. So if you don't like it, you could be quiet because we not done. Love you, Lisa, boo. No, you my boo. But listen, Lisa's a fruity cutie from Misfit Mondays. I love that woman. Like, she's a member of my family. She's a member of my new family. I got fruity cuties all around the world that are on my side because they see the truth. But so many people cannot see the truth because they're blinded by the money, their ego, their need to be right. So here are some of the symptoms of B12 deficiency: weakness, lightheadedness, weight loss, diarrhea, nausea, abdominal pain, shortness of breath, loss of menstruation, numbness or tingling in the fingers and the toes. Here's some other symptoms: nervousness, mild depression, confusion, difficulty thinking, impaired balance, poor coordination, impaired memory, behavioral changes. Guess what? All of these symptoms, they are symptoms of B12 deficiency, but these are also the exact same symptoms of taking antibiotics. So the antibiotic symptoms and the B12 deficiency symptoms are exactly the same. Do you know how many Americans and people all around the world take antibiotics? And then they get tested for B12. And if they're not taking a B12 supplement, oh, your levels are low. By any chance, do you get lightheaded? Do you have weakness? Do you have tingling in your fingers and toes? Oh, it's not the antibiotics I gave you last week, because I'm a doctor, so I would never hurt you. I would never try to make money off you. You know what? Let me give you another drug called a supplement so we can get rid of those things. And what that does is this supplement stores away in your liver, in your kidneys, causing more and more and more and more health issues. Okay? I don't know much, but I know B12 ain't it. Let me be all. Let vitamin B12 leave it alone for real. Okay, I gotta fix that song. I don't know much, but I don't know much, but I know B12 ain't it. Let it be and eat all the fruit you want. Because also, these plant-based doctors, don't forget, they also say you need to cook food. They also say you cannot eat a raw food diet. Oh, no, no, that would make you too healthy. No, we got to keep patients coming in. We got to keep this business going. Can't have that. If there's nobody sick, what they gonna do all day? You just gonna come in for your checkup? Okay, bye. What? No consultations. If people find out the truth, the whole medical industry is going to shut down because nobody cares about these stupid, inarbitrary, meaningless numbers on a fucking test. So you're looking at a real life person, an example of somebody who's done with the medical industry, 100% done. I haven't seen a doctor. Actually, I did see a doctor. That's another story. I saw one doctor in the past 15 years. Okay. I had a really bad pain in my stomach, really bad, no matter what I ate. So went to the ER. This is real quick, okay, because I have to go. I went to the ER. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. Did an ultrasound, CAT scan, X-ray. I got a test for H. pylori. I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. Went to a functional medicine doctor because I don't know who else to go to. Went to a chiropractor, went to a acupuncturist, and nothing helped. First I went to the functional medicine doctor. Yeah. Okay. He tells me, you're eating too many vegetables. You need to eat eggs and fish. Okay, got the fuck out of there. Then I saw a acupuncturist, and he helped me understand that my pain in my stomach was coming from stress, financial stress. 3 visits with him, gone. Never had that pain again. Not everything is physical, and not everything requires a Band-Aid to stop the symptoms and just shove it down, shove it down, shove it down. That's what you're doing with these supplements. That's what you're doing with the antibiotics. Yes, they're one and the same. I will never take a supplement again. I will never take an antibiotic again, and I will never go to get a blood test again. So follow me, because in 50 years, I'll still be here on my walking pad. How old will I be? I'll be 90. Okay. I'll be 90 channeling Fred Bishi. And you're going to see me age throughout the years. And you're going to see these other people age not so good. Not so good. And no, I'm not worried about a B12 deficiency. I'm worried about B12. Check out Will Tuttle. I'll leave the link below to all the videos I just did recently on B12, on how dangerous supplements are. Oh, one more thing, just because it's fun. One more thing. First thing I saw today, that's not it. Hold on. First thing I saw today when I logged on to the good old Book of Face. Okay. You know what I'm talking about. Good old Facebook. I got to go on there because I have a private community. Well, the first thing I saw, oh no, where did it go? Oh no. Well, first thing I saw was Will Tuttle, my motherfucking man right here, my guy. Did you know the 8 glasses of water a day guidelines started in 1945 by the Food and Nutrition Board. Interestingly, that's also when fluoride was first added to the water. Yo, they fucking played us, bro. They playing us. Remember, if you want to be cute, you got to eat fruit. But if you want to smell like feet, then keep on eating meat. And the supplements ain't it, boo. The supplements, they ain't it either. You don't need that. You don't need this weird fucking acetone, fucking cobalt, fucking cyanide, fucking experiment shit. If you want to experiment with your body, experiment with God's food. Okay? Sun food. Experiment with nature's food. You're going to do an experiment either way. So you might as well experiment with nature, providing all the vitamins and minerals and nutrients that you need over science, because you going to become a science experiment or a nature experiment, a natural experiment or a science experiment. They're just experimenting themselves. Doctors are practicing. Okay? So I'm going on the side of nature, the side of God. Love you guys. And I'll see you in the next one. Remember, not everyone can see the truth. Not everyone can see it. So don't get upset. Just keep it moving. Your vibe attracts your tribe. You'll attract the truth seekers that you're meant to attract. Not everyone can see it. It's not for everyone in this lifetime. If it's for you,